Ah! Um, it's just gone past the witching hour. It's not 12, 3:30, when the termination between night and day is thinnest of the seal between the black veil and the white veil. It inspired me to do an extra edition, also in between, of entity entry and entity exiting. So I'm going to call this one Entity Elixir. Okay, ways to ensure that you won't be haunted by previous, present, or future entities. Yeah, so just a few that I missed out before. Maybe I wasn't ready to tell them. I'll run through them then. So, let's see. So I had two little Jack Russells, and the one on the left I named Raziel after my favourite game character growing up. Um, you may know him from the Legacy of Kain games. Beautiful, beautiful pieces of gaming art, each of them as well in themselves. But Soul Reaver was always my favourite, so I named him Raziel. The one on the right is Rosie. Okay, that was like my mother's dog. Raziel was mine. So Raziel fell sick out of nowhere and was very healthy, as was Rosie. And this was a couple of years, maybe about a year, just over now. Um, yeah, he fell sick out of nowhere, and we couldn't work out what it was or why. And it was just um, during the demonic attacks I used to get. Um, I believe that they, whatever they were, because there was more than one. I believe one of them got to my dogs, so it infected Raz somehow, and we couldn't work out what it was, but he was in absolute agony, so we had to put him down. About a month after that, Rosie, as I say, being my mother's dog, used to stay with her, and my mum was combing Rosie. She used to like her hair being played with. And she was a very calm dog, very wise. They both were, but Raz was the baby of the two. That's why I couldn't watch him go through that pain. But even the vet didn't know what it was that was paining him. But Rosie, she was sitting there nice and calm, and out of nowhere, she, according to my mother, she put her head up and had like a strict, disciplined, undivided attention directed towards the window. And before my mother could do anything about it, she just sprinted for that window. It wasn't even open that far, but she pushed through it. Um, yeah, and she didn't fall to her death. That might have been a bit better for her. She fell to the floor outside my front door and broke her legs. And again, we had to put her down for that reason. Um, she's never done anything like that before. So I don't know what she saw, but she saw something. She weren't impulsive like that, you know. Yeah, she didn't cry, scream, anything once she'd hit the floor. She was herself again. She was docile, and yeah. So two events, but I suppose I believe turned into one event by the same archon. I believe it was an archon. I'm not sure which. 72 to choose from, so it's not an easy find. So yeah, there's an extra one for you. Um, also had this other night terror um, in my teenage years. It was only the one. Most of my others, as I've said before in entity entry, were reoccurring. This one wasn't, but it was the most frightening. And it probably won't sound it, but it felt it, and that's the point. This was more of a feeling. Um, the night terror started that I was on a desert island, and it was a long time ago, so I want to get this right. Dreams, nightmares, they distort, don't they, over time? Time distorts them, and who controls time? Not to mention that that trigger system that we have that makes you forget. I wonder why that is too, and who's in control of that. Um, my newly found friends online uh, go with a certain theory that I haven't really analyzed before until now. The idea that coincidence, serendipity, synchronicity, they're only words to what it actually is because of how it actually feels. It's like signs of you waking up, I suppose, or signs you're already awake. But they're like glitches in this matriarchal matrix soul trap grid worldwide spider web. Um, or as Armageddon consciousness would call it, the cellular world. I really like that. Um, yeah, deja vu being another. It's like it's going, no, 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 no. It's all in your head. You just had a funny moment. Look, come on, get distracted again. You know what I mean? So the reason I bring that up is because I believe there is um, a connection there to that triggery system in the brain that makes you, if not forget your dreams completely as well as your nightmares, then it fills in the gaps or takes things out to create the gaps. Moving on, this night terror, yeah. So I was on a desert island. I believe that I can recall it being extremely stormy weather. The storm was just starting up, and I had this overwhelming feeling of vulnerability and insecurity, and I knew I had to get off this island. I turned around and I saw this old, rustic, decrepit debris of a boat, and I got on it. And as soon as I got on it, the whole thing kind of reconfigured like it had never been sailed before, brand new. And as I started to move away from the island, the weather forecast changed and the sun came out and it turned beautiful again. But as I moved away and the island started to become smaller, I saw this entity, right? And the moment I saw it, I could not take my eyes off it. And this felt more real than reality. And it walked out from the palm trees and up to the shoreline, and it led its head in like that, and it was staring at me, but without eyes. It just had these two huge black head traumas, you know, just voids. And I could feel my life force being drained of me as I couldn't stop staring into them. And I believe it had a hat on, like a fedora hat, but I don't remember what other attire it was wearing. But it was an emaciated being, and it was rotting away, and I could smell it, the stench of it, like foul, foul, rancid blood, sweat, urine, fecal matter, and as it was staring at me, and I was staring back into it, into the abyss, as it was staring back, it smiled, and it had these razor sharp teeth, and its smile came out of its face, you know, and it pointed at me, and I don't know, I think, hmm, it pointed at me, and it said, but it didn't say it. It still had this grin. It's like I heard it telepathically, and it said, "Athlete, athlete, athlete." Make of that what you will. I still try to this day. I suppose athletes stand for inner longevity, um, you know, that strength to push every part of you past the finish line, you know, to never give up, to always give that extra mile. These are all, you know, cliches, but I don't know what else to make of it. But it called me an athlete. Um, and when I woke up, I couldn't stop shaking. I turned my fucking bed into a sponge because of how much I was perspirating. Um, yeah, I can't describe that feeling. I almost don't want to. It was just, it's like there was just no way out of that feeling. Like that was it for all eternity. This corrosive, look, it's weird. Like it was years ago. I'm shaking. Just, I can't even describe it to you. I really can't. I wish I could. Sorry. I thought I could. It was just like, how does an archon feel? You know what I mean? That's how it would feel. Yeah. Strangely enough, about a year after, my mother come up to me out of nowhere, and she has very strong intuition. And she's very intellectual, as I've said before. She's had to raise me on her own since my father passed when I was 5. Done a bloody good job. Not easy learning from a boy how to become a man without a role model, but I think I'm doing all right. Um, She come up to me and she said, "Did you have a night terror?" I was like, "No, I've been all right recently." At that point, I was. She was like, "No, no, no, no. This was a while ago now." And she had this piece of paper in her hand. I said, "Yeah, well, a few. Why'd you ask?" And she said, "I had a vision. I drew this picture, and I have it, and I will find it. I'm not sure where it is at the moment." She showed me this picture, and I fucking swear it was the smiling pointer. It was this emaciated, rotting carcass with the same eyes and the same smile, but on its head it had like a bird nest. And I'm pretty sure that's what it was. It weren't a hat. It was a hat, but it was made out of twigs. It was a bird's nest. I didn't see a magpie pop out of it, so I suppose that's one upside. But I'll have to look up the symbolism behind bird's nests because I'm sure there is. If you know any or anything of it, then please do let me know. Um, yeah, that was actually the worst of the worst. I'm surprised I didn't mention that in the other two. See, very simple, not much to it. Didn't need to be. Trust me when I tell you that, and I don't ask you to trust me often. See, the point and problem with trust is the moment that you ask someone to trust you, if they choose to do so and you're wrong, you've led them down the wrong way as well as yourself. That's why I don't like asking people to trust me. Okay. Plus, I don't like it when people say, well, you can't trust anyone in this world. I believe you can, but it takes time. And I don't like time either. Maybe not even time. It takes trust, you know. I believe true trust you wouldn't have to ask for. It's given, isn't it? So, athlete. I'll have to look that one up too. Um, moving on. Um, yeah, there was a point in my life where every time I tried to fall asleep at night, they say it takes roughly about 7 to 8 minutes. Isn't that ironic? Um, you know what I mean if you watch and listen to my work. Um, I'd just start to fall asleep, and I would feel my body fill up with this surge of I don't know what it was. It was like anti-energy, and it get the more that I would nod off, the stronger it would get, and it would just wake me straight back up, and it would happen all night, every single time. So I'd lose count of how many. Yeah, that happened for like 3 days straight. So I didn't really get any sleep for 3 days straight. Um, I still to this day don't know what that is. See, this could all be torments of the same tormentor. I'm not sure. It may even be the entity in the scrying screen of my old TV that I've shown you before. On the subject of which, I have another TV screen. I should really fucking throw these two out. I don't even use them anymore. But I suppose I like to face things, you know. I believe that the only way to make something else look away is to stare straight into its eyes, you know. Otherwise, you'll always feel like you're being watched. Yeah, it's strange. I don't think it'll come out on the camera, so I might have to do some pictures of it. I'll give it a go. It's it's like two heads that have like they're conjoined together like Siamese twins, and one of them's got like a bit of a bow tie and like a little sort of bowler's hat. I'll give it a go. Hang on a second. I'm gonna pause it, sort it out. One moment, brothers and sisters. My apologies. lads and lasses. I gave it a go. The lighting's so shit in my room, but I will get that up so you can see. Um, if I make up for it, I'll show you my Legacy of Kane poster. Is Raziel, is Kane. Arch enemies of each other. Interpret that any way you want. You should know by now how I interpret it. If not anything else, then it's just the spiritual war between good and evil. I love the game. I can tell even at an age as young as about 8, 9. Yeah. Here's another for you then. For those of you that have watched and listened to my satanic cinema videos, in the description I explain how the integral structure of cinemas as buildings is built in a way that it actually harvests and it harvests loose energy from you. It charges itself on your smiles, your cries, your gasps, your screams. It's made that way deliberately, and I believe just the way that it can take something in from you externally, it can also send something back out because it's just a giant scrying screen. You've got to remember that back out internally, and it did just that on a few occasions to me. At the time, my vibration was very low. And in regards to an elixir, um, that's the primary way to protect and defend against these blackened hearts. It's to keep your vibration high. All the time it's low, it's met by their own, and that gives them the keys to your eyes, to your windows, to your soul. Okay. I was watching. I went and saw It Chapter 2, one of my favourite films. Kicks the shit out the first one. Sequels usually don't. Um, as I say, if you're aware, it won't scare. And although I was aware, because I know there's a lot of symbolism going on in there, there's a lot of mummy mean in there too. As I said before, I mean Pennywise is actually female in the book, um, and the fact that he's an insectoid, in particular, closer to an arachnid, after a god, yeah, the machine mother. Um, yeah, I went and watched it with my girlfriend, and we loved it, you know. But as soon as I walked out there, I didn't feel any love was in me at all. And I'd had a drink, which will let things in itself, but not that much of a drink. Um, yeah, we were both cocaine addicts as well at that point, which wouldn't have helped. Yeah, them days are gone though. So's that sorrow. Well, he wasn't. That's the thing. He wasn't then, but he is now. I think it was mainly down to all the entity haunting. I don't like that word to associate with ghosts, but it shouldn't be because you do become haunted. You haunt yourself from them. I don't think they haunt you. You know what I'm saying? That's what I meant in the entity entry when I say not only can they inhabit you, you can inhabit them because you can't stop thinking about them and the trauma that they've induced in you. Therefore, you haunt yourself because of them. I'm saying I don't need to haunt you. You do it yourself. which is another elixir. Okay, you have to find a way to know and feel what's going on. It can be done. It's not easy. I walked out of there and I was a beast. I just the things I don't remember half the things I said and did. Nothing physical, of course, but I was just wretched in my comments and responses and correspondence with the love of my life. And yeah, I just absolutely fucking immolated the night. You know, I ruined it completely. Same thing happened when I went to see Us with my girlfriend. Same thing. Loved it, enjoyed it, beautiful, romantic even. Walked out completely different, not even a person. I was it, this thing. I was it. I was basically, but worse. Yeah, watch out for that. Watch out for these films. Watch out for the places they take place in, because they'll end up taking place in you too. I suppose that about wraps it up. Um, if you've had anything like this, please do share it with me if you feel it can be shared. If you can't, I will understand, because some of these are not even easy to this date for me to speak about. But I feel comfortable enough to speak to you. You know who you are, about them. So, tell you one thing, since I've started this work, zero. I suppose the haunting is over. Yeah. Um, get to a point where when your vibration's high enough, and you don't need much of an elixir. To me, that is the main one. You just need a high vibration. Just stay creative, stay honest, stay loving. Don't lose your hope, your faith, or your belief. There's no way they can get in. The doors are not only locked, but they're welded shut to these fuckers. Okay. But yeah, after a while, if it's high enough, you'll notice that not only do you have no fear whatsoever of them, but they have every fear of you. You can feel it. You really can. You can feel them, and although they feel nothing themselves, the one thing that they do feel is fear. They fear us because we are alive and they are dead. So let's stay alive. Let's keep them dead.